Well, if you were around our community back in 2018, you might remember that we shared with you the story of Prisca Uche, who's part of our church family in Welland. Now, Prisca's from Zimbabwe, and back in 2016, she was forced to flee her home along with her family. They traveled to South Africa in hopes they would one day make their way to Canada to find a new home for themselves, leaving her 4 children behind, the youngest of whom was 7 years old at the time. Prisca courageously flew to Canada to start the immigration process. By the time we shared her story with you, she'd already been waiting for over a year for a process that normally takes only a few months. As Prisca shared about the heartache of being separated from her children and her trust in God, she had no way of knowing just how long the wait would be, that it would be another year of waiting, and another year, and another. And then as the pandemic hit, halting all international travel, hope seemed even further out of reach. Here in Canada, as we struggled at Southridge to maintain a sense of community by sharing videos of ourselves in our online service, we got to meet Prisca's kids virtually as they introduced themselves to us from South Africa. Nyasha, Tapiwa, Tadiwa, and Munasu. By the time the lockdowns ended and things began to kind of get back to normal, it had been so long that many aspects of their immigration process had to be restarted and redone. 2 of her kids were now adults, requiring a completely different process. Setback after gut-wrenching setback.
It wasn't easy. Yes, there's time when I thought, I don't think this is going to happen. That's why I'm always thankful for the people here at church and friends outside that have been encouraging me, praying with me. That kept me going. But there are days when I could not handle the pressure, and I'll be crying, I'll be hopeless.
But earlier this year, Prisca got word that the final details were falling into place, and on February 9th, I got a text from Prisca that read, "Hey Tom, good news. I got emails from 2 of my kids to bring the passports for visas, and I think I'll get the other letter from my daughter tomorrow. I'm so excited." A month later, the date was set and the flights were booked, and on the evening of April 3rd, as if the story needed any more delays, having left South Africa 2 days earlier, the kids finally arrived in Montreal, but were held up in immigration and missed their connecting flight to Toronto. So we anxiously waited to see if they would make it onto the next flight, and the next flight, and the next one. And then finally, at 11:30 p.m., after 6 years of waiting, working, praying, crying, and hoping, the family was reunited at last. 6 years of unimaginable heartache giving way to joy in a beautiful moment of hugs and smiles, tears and laughter. Patience rewarded, hope fulfilled. A family together for good.
Don't lose hope. Sometimes, even though the situation may look like it's a hopeless situation, God always comes through for us. Don't lose hope. That's all I can say.